415 East Boston here, back with another one. Last night we got a good ass, classic ass fight. Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence Jr. for the unification of the WBC and IBF welterweight titles. Errol Spence did his thing. He won clearly to me, but as usual, as Shawn Porter typically does, he made the fight look very close. He made Errol work for it. It wasn't easy, and you know, Shawn roughed Errol up. You know, he roughed him up a little bit. I don't think it was as bad as people try to make it seem. I don't think it was as close as people try to make it seem as far as rounds. You know, I had Errol winning like 8-4 or something like that. I don't think it was as close as far as rounds, but it was close as in how hard Errol had to work for it. Like some of them rounds could have went either way. You know, some of them could have went either way. Shawn was very strong. He took a lot of punches, a lot. Like Errol was tearing Shawn's body up, and Shawn was taking them hoes. Now, part of that is due to Errol not doing strength and conditioning, not doing things how he normally did. But regardless, that's not Shawn's problem. You know what I'm saying? Shawn went there and took them hoes. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the point of this video is the next fight I want to see is Shawn Porter versus Terrence Crawford at welterweight. I think that fight should be made in spring. And I know most people, especially Terrence Crawford protectors, going to cry, oh no, we want unification. We want unification. Errol should fight Crawford next and all that shit. You know, so that's fine and dandy. If Errol was to fight Crawford next, that's cool. But just going off the horse's mouth and what they was talking about last night, Errol is going after Manny Pacquiao. And if he can't fight Manny Pacquiao, he's going to fight Danny Garcia, which I think they said that's his mandatory. I don't know how he got into the mandatory spot, but I might be wrong about that. But if I'm not mistaken, Danny Garcia is the mandatory. But I don't care to see the Danny Garcia fight, to be honest. I'd rather him see, if he don't fight Pacquiao, I would rather see him fight Terrence Crawford. But they said that ain't happening. So anyway, just going off what they said last night, if that's the case, if Errol, because Errol might not fight again until spring next year. So, and Crawford's supposed to be fighting in wintertime in December. And according to the contract he signed with Bomac said on Trio Boston Talks some months ago, Crawford is supposed to be fighting 3 times a year. So he can fight winter of this year. He could fight the Mean Green Machine or whoever the fuck he was gonna fight, and then he could backdoor and fight again in spring. Like if Errol not fight him in spring, if Errol fight one of them other two, fight Shawn Porter in spring. And then if he's successful and Errol's successful, they can meet in the fall or winter of 2020. They both was adamant about fighting in 2020. So I know I said all you niggas crying and shit about you want to see the fight next, you just got to be patient. I'm sorry. You know, yeah, we want unifications and all that shit, but if the unification fight is not happening, we need some good in-between fights. We don't need it, you know what I'm saying? I don't really want to see like Crawford versus Mean Green Machines and all this other shit. Like, now I want some good in-between fights. If Crawford not getting a title shot, y'all need to be offering money to these other guys. And I think Shawn Porter is a worthy opponent, especially y'all offering money to Danny Garcia. So why not offer something to Shawn Porter? Now Danny Garcia, he's in the race for the Errol Spence fight. You know, throw Shawn Porter a bag, you know. Shawn Porter put on classic fights. Him and Keith Thurman was a classic. Him and Danny Garcia wasn't too good. It was okay. But Shawn Porter versus Kell Brook, that was a classic to me. Some people say it was boring because of the holding, but that was a classic fight. A big, strong welterweight, and then Shawn was trying to get through, and Kell, you know, so that was a good fight. Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence, an excellent fight. You know what I'm saying? So now, the next fight to be made, like I said, just going off what they said last night, Shawn Porter versus Terrence Bud Crawford. And they can make it on ESPN pay-per-view, especially if the numbers come back good for this fight. You know, so you can make it on ESPN pay-per-view. You know, I would say Fox pay-per-view, but you know that's gonna make negotiation hard. Shawn Porter could just go over to ESPN and They can do some type of co-promotion or some shit. But him and Earl will have a common opponent, and Terrence Crawford be able to finally fight a top welterweight. You know what I'm saying? So we can get a real gauge on Terrence Bud Crawford's skills at welterweight. Because as you see from Shawn Porter is going to make you bring out everything in a toolbox. You know what I'm saying? You can't just come in and fight Shawn Porter one way. You got to try a few different things. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have the strength of Kell Brook to hold Shawn Porter down. You know what I'm saying? That's something unique for Kell Brook. Uh, I mean, why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? It'll be an excellent fight. It'll be a classic fight. Shawn Porter versus Terrence Crawford. That's the fight I'm pushing for. Spring 2020. This 415 East Boston. I'ma holla at y'all.